Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. Thanks for electing me speaker so I can do my job again. I love being up here. This is like one of my favorite times of the week. And yeah, looking forward to this semester. Okay, so first, before we get into reports, is there anyone here for public forum? Anyone from the student body who would like to speak about anything? Okay, if there's not, we will go straight to reports. Just a sneak preview today. For everyone who's new or anyone who's visiting, basically what we do is the first thing we approve minutes from last meeting, which are just like notes on what we did. Then anyone who wants to speak from the general body or from the student body can. Then we go through everybody's individual reports, so for the committees and then everybody sitting up here. And then we go to business, which is like reading and voting on bills and proclamations. And then we go into a discussion time at the very end, which is where we speak our minds and try to like figure out things to do as a Senate. All right, so I don't really have a report, obviously. Thank you, whoever wrote this. Rules. Yeah, rules. Sorry? I don't know if you have minutes from last week.
We do.
You do? Did you send them?
They were sent out.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Can I?
Yes, ma'am.
So I sent the minutes out, but I wasn't able to attach the attendance because Ducklink is down, so I can't go in and find it. So we can approve them as they are now, and then once Ducklink is back up, we can come back to them. So I don't know how the Senate wants to do them, if they want to approve them as it is, and then once I get the attendance, someone can make an amendment, or we can hold off on approving them as once I have the attendance to attach it. So I don't know.
Maybe it's probably just be easier to hold off until we have attendance, so we can actually like look at responses.
Yeah. So no one made a motion, so technically we don't even have to. Did someone make a motion?
No one made a motion to do the minutes. Usually we just do it automatically. We don't really need a motion.
Yeah.
But
We don't have to approve them.
I have no problem. Like, yeah, we don't have to do that. We can do that next week. So that'll just pile up. That's fine. We don't really need to do it like technically we understand. All right. Reports. Rules. Again, we don't have an update.
Oh. Jake isn't here anymore, right?
Yeah.
He stepped down, so we actually, this slide, there's no updates, but it's on the next one?
It's on hold.
Okay, yeah, so
Alright,
no
good.
update, no
No
update.
update. CSI, no update. PR.
Wait, sorry to cut you off. Just for the people in the back that don't know everybody yet, when we're going through reports, can you just give me like your name, major, and a little something about yourself? You said name twice, right?
Say your name twice.
Yeah, just do like a little something, just for everyone to know who you are.
Hi, I'm Alina Tudor. I'm a junior senior. I'm former PR chair. I stepped down right before the start of the semester. But just to tell you a little bit about like what PR committee does, it's basically like the liaison and communication channel between the student body and the SGA. We inform the student body of SGA-related news, whether that be through social media, through newsletters, or through posters on campus. We also manage the SGA social media presence, specifically Instagram and Facebook, and we organize events for students to interact with SGA officials. Last year, we did 2 big events. We did SGA speed dating in the fall, which was a really cool themed event in the atrium where people came and got to eat like fancy appetizers and give feedback to SGA officials. And in the spring, we did Spill the Tea, where we had brunch food and tea and coffee, and students also just got to interact with SGA officials, ask questions, answer questions, and so on. And I'm hoping that at this meeting, you guys will approve my successor, Apergia, to be the new PR chair. I'm super excited for all she has to offer.
Thank you. Campus life.
Hi everyone, welcome back from your summers, and if you're a freshman, welcome. My name's EJ, I'm the chair of the Campus Life Committee. The statement there is vaguely what we do, but a more accurate representation. For example, last semester we got the benches on Babio Patio. We fought for like more sustainable efforts on campus and student artwork, things like that. We don't have a first meeting yet, but if you're interested, just let me know. And as you can see here, we have a graph that took me way too long to make regarding student happiness over time. As you can see, since CLC was founded, we've been doing a lot better. And we hit equilibrium at the end of last semester. We're ready to just take off this year. So this is the best time to do it. Okay. And then our lovely Vice President of Finance has donated a chair.
Really, really, really good results.
Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on, academic credits.
Hey everybody, my name is Phil Jamison. I'm a junior, grade of 5 engineering management major, and I'm the committee on academic rights chair. So essentially, what our committee does is we serve to protect student interests in the classroom and ensure fairness. And so we're one of the academic committees on the SGA, another one is ACA, and the main difference between our committee and the academic and curriculum advancement committee is that we are focused on the operational immediate concerns of the classroom, whereas ACA is kind of more of a bigger picture, improving students in the long term. So some updates. We have an email alias. It's car@cvs.edu. If you have any academic questions, we might not be able to solve them, but we'll help guide you to the right people to solve them. It's car@cvs.edu, and it'll get forwarded to all the committee members and the VPAA. We'll have our first committee meeting sometime next week. I'll send out a doodle on the CAR Slack channel. And this is just kind of an important note. Make sure your professors have already given you your syllabus. It's like day 1, minute 1 requirement. You should have that already. And if you don't, you should reach out. And then kind of going on through the year, if you have any academic complaints, and after you reach out to your professor and you weren't able to resolve anything, you can always fill out the academic complaint form, which can be found at tinyurl.com/StevensConcern or by navigating through the stevens.edu/report page. Thank you guys so much. Kick ass this semester.
Thank you, Phil. Academic and curriculum advancement.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Andrew Kinney. I am the chair of the Academic and Curricular Advancement Committee. As Phil just noted, we are kind of the more active version of his committee. We plan things ahead of time, and we try to change the curriculum in ways that we think will be beneficial towards Stevens. That can mean changing classes themselves and the content in them, or changing the way that credits work for classes, or any other wide range of things along that line. I just took over this committee at the end of last semester with like a week or two to spare. So my first initiatives are going to be following up on Mark's initiatives that he had been working on, such as getting undergraduate TAs in a couple of major classes, such as PEP 111, and trying to reinstate a mental health course at Stevens, because that's a major problem. Some other major initiatives for this semester involve trying to get Stevens to recognize language courses as humanities credits, because currently they try to argue that humanities courses don't involve enough hard reading and writing, and therefore are useless in their eyes. And that is really, really not healthy for our humanities program or for our language program. Our main contact in the administration of the school unfortunately got fired out of nowhere over the summer. That is him on the right with a heart and a crack through his heart. So we will also be trying to form a new relationship with the administration, because that was a major blow. Anyway, I need committee members, so if anyone ends up becoming senators, please join my committee. I'm available on Slack, very easy to find.
Have you heard any word if they're filling that position? Pretty sure they're not.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Senate budget.
I'm doing a conflict meeting. We have no senators too. So this page is going to move underneath the Vice President of Finance page, but my name is Elena. I am the Vice President of Finance. I head this committee, and basically what we do is it's a group of students, some senators and some non-senators, so you don't have to join my committee and be a senator if you don't want to be a senator. So what we do is we do weekly business, and then we do a big budget. Weekly business is if clubs need additional funding for an event coming up, or if a club needs to move funding from one event to the other, they send in a request, we review it. At the meeting, meeting, and then as a committee, we decide if we approve this or not, and then the Senate has to approve all additional funding requests. At the big budget meeting, every organization presents their budget for the next semester, and that the voters are included in there are the budget committee and the CSI, which is the committee on student interests, because we all vote as a whole and decide what is best for our organizations, and then the Senate basically votes on that. We handle about $1.5 million a year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But as for my notes, the Senate, please vote for my budget committee so we can start work next week. P.S. Julia was on there too, but she has to be moved to next week. She couldn't come this week.
Health wellness.
Hello, I'm Victoria Aguilera. I'm a sophomore in Kenny. Health and Wellness Committee is kind of pretty self-explanatory. It's really just about improving the health and wellness of students, like whether it be physical, mental, emotional, financial, all that good stuff, and also like improving education and awareness on campus. So welcome back, I guess, if you want to be. Join our Slack channel, #Health and Wellness, and please join my committee. I need members really, really bad. I'm working on setting up a healthy sleeping habits event, so let me know if you're interested in helping with that. I wanted to co-host with Caps and Gabby. Caps has gotten back to me, Gabby has not yet. If you have any suggestions, like please let me know. And yeah, enjoy all the memes.
Thank you, Victoria. Gov and Tom.
I think it's no update.
All right, cool. No update. Diversity and inclusion.
Hi, I'm not Saber. I'm a junior in business tech. I'm chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. We just formed last November. And basically our mission is to ensure that students is being inclusive environment for all students on campus, and also just providing tools for underrepresented students on campus. So, kind of how our committee functions. There's a chairperson, which is me. There's a vice chairperson, Kesha Shaw. She's right there in the picture. And then a group of committee advocates. So these committee advocates, they basically kind of serve as like advocates for different underrepresented populations on campus. So there's like a gender advocate, accessibility, race and ethnicity, accessibility, socioeconomics, this goes on. And yeah, basically we're all just pursuing initiatives, events, and like whatever else we choose in order to make students more inclusive. And deleted myself.
What's that?
Can anyone just feel like it was me?
Someone deleted the slide that we
Oh,
Everyone-
that is
everyone just
brutal.
press Command Z on their computers.
It's back. Thanks for that. So some updates. So one of the biggest things our committee fought for since past November was an intercultural center. This is supposed to be a safe space for underrepresented students on campus, and also just a place for any person to come and get educated on topics of diversity and inclusion. If you haven't heard already, the center was approved, and we'll be going into Alexander House when it opens in the spring, and will officially remain the university center when that opens in the spring. So, whoever helped out with that, thank you so much. It was a lot of work, but this year, first and foremost, we have to work on career initiatives because of the Jam 14, now known as Gateway Academic Complex. We're going to be trying working on that to uplift the career community. But hopefully going to pick back up where we left off with faculty modules and what else happens. Our first committee meeting is September 9th at 9 p.m. in Lobby 204, so we kind of learn more. And then diversity education is having a mingle with all the organizations on campus, September 5th at 5:30 at Lobby 204. So come to that. We want to learn more about diversity education. Yeah,
Thank you, Sue. Housing.
Do you want to speak to that?
All right, normally Jason leads this. Let's see, we need some new ideas. Everything was executed over the summer. Good work. We provide resources and support for all housing solutions, Stevens, non-Stevens, on and off campus. Post on our Slack channel with any ideas. This is the Slack channel. All right. All right, he's sick. All right. SSA.
We'll talk about this during my slide.
All right. Auditing committee.
So hey everyone, I'm Lee McMurtry. I'm the senior senator. I'm also the chair of the auditing committee. So the purpose of the auditing committee is to carry out official investigations of the clubs and recognize student organizations on campus when necessary, and to provide sort of a second set of eyes and oversight when necessary. There's a little over 100 recognized student organizations on campus, so the clubs, and yeah, some oversight is needed for that. We work pretty closely with the Committee on Student Interests, headed by the Vice President of Student Interest, Nina, and also we work quite closely with the Vice President of Finance, Elena, over there. So some updates for auditing committee. Well, there really aren't any, because we carried out about 6 audits last semester, and they all got finished by the end of last semester. So for this new semester, we're just going to be starting it up again. I'll be sending out the link to set up a meeting time for the auditing committee members. And also, unrelated to auditing committee, but OSTIP will be having its first GBM of the semester tomorrow, 5 to 7 in Davio 220. Please come out if you are really interested in this organization. It's still sort of new and small, but it has a lot of potential. And last thing, there has been talks within the SGA of a possible constitutional rewrite. Nothing's definite yet. It's really just in the discussion period, but I am trying to set up a constitutional rewrite session for people in the SGA to come out and voice their opinions on what should be included and what shouldn't be. Right now it's looking like we're probably going to be meeting Saturday, September 7th from 2 to 5, although that's not certain, but that kind of looks like the time right now. But if you want to participate, please fill out the when to meet link right there.
Thank you, Leo. EC.
Yeah, I'm usually the EC rep. Hi, everybody. I'm Madison. I'm secretary of SGA, but I'm also the comedy chair for the entertainment committee, so I do their slide for them. And then they fill it out. I just present it. So right now, EC's having a little bit of trouble because that link's down. So there's different links that they're using for the events coming up. So for 10 p.m. tonight, you can do the treetop adventure. The link's there, and then the play that goes wrong. So the signups are, I guess, they're linked there. They're using something else, and then the screen couldn't come in time for the outdoor movie night. So we are co-hosting with SITTV. So that's going to be Godzilla at the Friday. So I think it's this Friday coming up at 7, and then just the upcoming and past events at the bottom. If anyone has any EC related questions, I can also answer those at the end.
Thank you, Matt. Arts and music.
Hello. Okay, so this is Fernando. He is one of our 11 subcommittee heads managing the different organizations we have on campus. He's not here right now, so I'll be speaking for him. My name is Nina. I'm the vice president of student interests. So I manage the managers of the organizations. Yeah, this section just goes through all of the reports, like updates about what clubs are doing, things like that.
Thank you. Club sports.
This is Allison Clark. She's another subcommittee head.
Electronics and gaming.
He's here.
Hi everybody, my name is Bruno Salgado. I'm the ANG subcommittee head. So these are some of the upcoming club events that are going to be happening this week. There's CS Club, Software Engineering Club, and Chess Club. So come out to those events. These are pretty cool.
Thank you. Poultry.
Hello everyone, my name is Danny. I'm born for
Can you speak up, please?
Sorry. So these are basically the first general body meetings with clubs happening in some company. And then the events we'll see for Wednesdays, is their field day on lawn, and a movie night. Never mind. Just movie night. Sorry.
Thank you. Media.
Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Green. I'm the media subcommittee head. My 5 organizations are listed up there. The Stoop, the newspaper, I highly recommend picking up a copy of the freshman issue if you have not done so already. They're right outside. The Stoop will be publishing this Friday. WCPR is our radio station. SITTV is our television station, and we're also doing movies every Friday, pretty much the entire semester. The Link is our yearbook, and Redshift is our creative literary magazine. I'm sitting in the back if you have any questions after the meeting.
Thank you. Non-RSO subcommittee.
This is Morgan. He manages the clubs that aren't considered RSOs. They're usually the tri-letter honor societies, random service organizations that don't require club funding from the SGA, the honor board. I don't know, they're just a hodgepodge of groups that aren't such special interests, but they're also not. Makes sense? I don't know if it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me. That's it.
Thank you. Professional societies.
Hi, my name is Christina Trinidad. I'm a 4 out of 5 Kenny, and I'm the subcommittee head for all the professional societies, so it's about 22, 23 societies in total that I work with. So last week, the first group of classes, Shift had their welcome back, and it had a really good turnout from upperclassmen as well as freshmen, so that was cool. And then this Thursday, they're going to have their national convention informational session, so that's happening. And then SWIX will be having their meetings bi-weekly on Tuesdays.
Thank you. Recreation subcommittee.
This is Victoria Stabile. I couldn't find a picture of her, so I drew her for you. I couldn't draw her very well on PowerPoint, but that's what she is. She has blonde hair, if you see her. There's no mouth. So she has listed on her slides the meeting times of different clubs in her subcommittee, but I'm not sure if they're updated from last semester. So don't, yeah. Take it with a grain of salt.
Thank you. Religious and faith-based.
Hi, so I'm Dante. I'm the liaison for all religious organizations here on campus. And updates with our committee going on right now. There's not much really I can say since that link is closed, but I can say this much, that noon nights will be held on a different week, and yeah, they're making efforts to make it more open, so everyone, whether you're Catholic, a-religious, different religion, will really be opening the floor to all different groups this coming semester for discussion. So stay tuned for that, and I can give you a location when you have something.
Service subcommittee.
This is Sam Conti. She is also not here, but she's in charge of the service subcommittee. She's in charge of the service subcommittee clubs. Those are just clubs that do service in different areas.
Special interests.
This is Ashley Peck, sorry. She is in charge of the clubs that don't fall under any of the other subcommittees. So that's a lot of different clubs. If you want a list of that, I can go over that with you, but we have a lot of special interests. We might have to redivide that since it's January, March.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name's Jason. I'm a junior. I'm the president of this little organization here, and I'll just jump right in. So we have 2 new huge things that we're going to shift to. I'm going to make a Trello board for everyone in the Senate, so we can put all of our similar initiatives on there. We can see what's completed, what's still being worked on. Pretty much just benefiting from communication all around. And the cabinet has all agreed to do a new coffee tea initiative to meet with all of you individually, in a group, whatever you prefer. And I would like to get that kicked off this week, so if anyone wants to meet and chat about anything, it can be about SGA, it can not be about SGA, but let's definitely do that. Updates for the school that is trying to hold on. The malware situation, we've had some updates about that, but they pretty much said it's a day-to-day basis, and they gave an estimation of 2-3 weeks after classes start, so 2 weeks from now, 1 week from now kind of thing. And Gateway apparently was interrupted because of the malware, which has led them to take other sources to push that forward, apparently. take all of this with a grain of salt. It was an extremely sketchy conversation that I had with them. And they said it should be done by the end of September, which I do not believe as well. Remember student convocation, please come out to that. That'll be very nice to have a presence there. Meet all the freshmen, get to know their names, make them feel comfortable. The cabinet and I are going to meet with Garden on September 6th. So if you guys have any topics that are pretty major that you would like to be brought up, please let me know and I can fill that out or I can put that on the agenda. And we have a lot of changes coming into SGA and we hope that they're all taken well. This is a document that has pretty much all the changes that we would like to implement. Take all of those with a grain of salt as well. None of those are confirmed and none of those are decided on yet, but these are some of the things that we want to push towards. Again, welcome back. It's great to see all your faces. And that's it for me. Mark?
What did you mean for like 2-3 weeks from now, where like until like what's
So-
up and running?
So they said, when the first day I got here, they said it should take a week after classes, maybe 2.
For what?
For all the systems to be active,
Okay.
like for them to figure out the malware situation. And then I just met with them, 4 days ago, and they told me that they're running into newer problems and they didn't intend for things to happen, so another 1 or 2 weeks. So pretty much it's the day-to-day basis. They're kind of covering that.
Jason? VPO.
Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Ryan. I am the Vice President of Operations, basically just the generalized Vice President. It's recruitment season, #RushSGA. Feel free to post that on the gram or whatever you feel like. Yeah, this could be you. Check out our new sick letters. Not actually. Wow. Please don't start a GoFundMe for those. That'd be really bad. Regardless, so committee updates. Thank you, Alina, for all your work with PR. She's been a huge help and basically kind of turned PR into what it is now. So that's been awesome. And welcome Aparajita, hopefully. So once we get into new business, I just need you guys to approve my nomination for her. She'll talk a little bit about that. For Rules Committee, Jake Milburn stepped down from the Senate as a whole, like in the past week. So I have not had any time to find a new replacement. If anyone is interested in being the new Rules Committee head and just kind of dealing with any legislation or club constitutions, rule changes, anything like that, let me know. Open to any suggestions. And then, other than that, what else? Some of you may be aware of this, but Stevens Venture Center, the old head, Adrian, just retired after last semester. So I'm going to be kind of working with them, especially because it kind of relates to some of my senior design stuff. I'm just facilitating that transition, so that's more of a personal initiative. Senior design is a disaster.
I got it.
So I'll be working with Alex on that situation. Other than that, what I need from you guys, senators, start thinking about what committees you want to be on. And the committee selection form will be coming out soon. So if you want to be in the same committee as last year or anything like that, let me know. Same thing for the committee heads. If you want anyone to be on your committee, please let me know. And for all of you that are thinking about joining the SGA, think about what committees you might be interested in as a senator. We kind of operate on a primary committee setup where by our governing documents, you have to be a member of one committee and you're expected to go to the meetings, stay in touch with that committee head, pursue initiatives related to that. It's based on whatever committee interests you the most. And then we also will generally assign a secondary committee also based on your interests that we hope that you would also like to be involved with and help pursue initiatives with. That way we can make sure that we have coverage of everything happening on campus and a lot of stuff gets done. If you guys decide that you don't want to be a senator and that's something that doesn't appeal to you, you can still be involved with those committees. So
feel free to come to Senate meetings on Sundays. They're always open. The committee meetings are always open. You can reach out to the committee heads. They'll tell you what they're working on. If you have any suggestions or requests, or if you want to go to those meetings and discuss what you think can be done better at the school, we're more than happy to hear your feedback. We've in the past had plenty of non-senators get super involved with all that, so that's another option as well. So keep that in mind. That's it for me.
Thank you. And rules is big. You basically review every constitution that every club on campus puts forth and any changes that they make. So it's a really good leadership position. All right, VPSI.
Hi again, it's me. So congrats on finishing the first week of school. It was a little rough. I felt a little overwhelmed last week. But anyway, so I manage the group of people who manage organizations, but we operate a little different from the Senate. We're a separate entity, the CSI. So subcommittee heads are not senators, and they don't get voting, but they do know a lot about what's going on in the school just because the organizations are a big part of student involvement, and they understand the workings of that very intimately. So you might want to talk to me separately if you're interested in the Committee on Student Interest at all, for my position. Just some operations updates. DuckLink and Google Drive are still down as far as I'm aware. So that means that clubs aren't able to post posters anywhere, and they're not able to post their events on Quark or DuckLink. You can still print them manually, but it's just harder, right? So there's not going to be a lot of publicity from the organizations, even though we have a lot on campus, and they're not going to be able to be taking your attendance as easily just because they have to put it in manually. So bear with that. Virtual EMS is still is back up now, so we can book rooms and do things. Yeah, I have some quotes for the week. There's a lot of, I'm interested in starting a clubs in Matthew.
As of 4 days ago, Google Drive's back.
Who told you? When did
They
tell
sent
you?
it out of that operations email. 4 days.
Google Drive is back. I'm gonna race
yeah,
this.
Google
DuckLink is still down though, so the organization things are still not. A lot of people have been reaching out to me about starting a new club. That interest period hasn't been open yet. It probably won't open until the end of September / beginning of October, just because there's a lot of things that need to happen before we can. And yeah, I went home 2 days ago.
Thank you very much. VPF.
Hi, the CLC chair took over my page before we got here, and I guess I'm on fire. But again, I'm Elena. I manage the finances for the student boards. That includes this organization, the SGA. The committees are allowed to also ask for funding for different events that they want to host, like Health and Wellness wants to host the sleeping event, and they're going to talk to me about it to ask for funding for the event. So we do weekly business, and my weekly business is in the folder in like the middle where it says weekly budget meeting. Google Drive folder that will have all the information from like week to week. It's public meetings, so you're allowed to look at all this information. That's where all the orgs ask for more money or they want to move money, and they have to follow our rules. I didn't link the rules up here for the budgeting, but I will for next week. I got a new computer. My computer last semester kind of broke down. It didn't work without it being plugged into the wall, so that sucks. So again, I am allowed non-senator members on my budget committee, so you can come to our first meeting, which is going to be next week on the 8th at 6 p.m., same room here. So we meet an hour before the Senate. And then if you're interested, you can email me or text me, but please say your number. Say your name. So other links that are very awesome, because DuckLink is down, AFRs and reallocations have to go through this form. I will send this out to works today, and they'll have until I'll give them until Thursday night to fill it out if they need to. The link up top is how I wanted to stay organized going forward. No, finished it yet, but this is how I want it to be. This is like what the boards have budgeted for this semester, based on like the subcommittee. This is the main page, and then if you click on EMG, which is electronics and gaming, I finished this one mostly. It shows for each, again, this is public information because you can go to all the meetings. For each event that each org has, it shows food, materials, breakdown, and then the name links back to their budget that was approved at the big budget meeting, so you could look at that. This is an example. And then once like they ask for more additional funding, I will highlight it's gonna be a different format. I'm gonna highlight the number, make it green, and then add a comment that it was adjusted, and then link that to its AFR. So everything's gonna be organized on this page. Yes. I love spreadsheets. Thank you. So this is, I'm gonna email the orgs to also send me attendance and stuff for their events, just so like they know that like they have that security. Although DuckLink is not working, I will accept their spreadsheets of their attendance because it's not fair if I don't. And then my apologies about the P-card situation. There's nothing that we can do. DuckLink does not work, but you could use the catalog or catering for food. If you have any questions about like that sort of stuff, please email me or text me.
Also, just a quick note, please don't mess with other people's slides. These actually go into the minutes, so this stuff like hostile CLC takeover, but with better font. And this slide was generously and anonymously provided, blah, blah, blah. That goes into the actual minutes, so just like, let's not make it happen that. Right. It does. Yeah, so you're basically putting words in someone else's mouth. Okay, Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alex. I am a senior. I am the Vice President of Academic Affairs. Pretty self-explanatory. Basically, anything academic related on the cabinet side for me. So welcome back. A bunch of stuff happened this week. It was a fun week. On Monday, I was meant to go to the SES Advising Center on the first floor in EAS to see Christopher, and I was told that he no longer works here. Can't get an answer why. I've heard some, I'm not going to spread rumors, but I've heard some things from people. Once it's more definite, I'll tell you, but until then, I'm not going to go into it. That was my reaction. I'm not happy. He was the most helpful person here on the administrative side, and he's just been fired, so it kind of sucks. But I'm working with Nina Chung. She was an advisor in there. She's kind of taken on a lot of his responsibilities. So she's cool though. She's going to be helpful, I'm sure, but it just still kind of sucks. Advisory boards are getting started up again. SES has their dates set with new selection happening this week. Business just needs to set their dates. Same with SSE. For those of you who may not know, advisory boards basically once a month, a group of students have the opportunity to meet with the dean of their school and kind of discuss issues, stuff going on, stuff like that. The only one that has not met yet is Cal. That's because I have to beg Dean Thomas just because he's so busy. So we're going to try to hopefully set the first meeting for that in October. Fingers crossed. I'll be hopeful. I'm supposed to meet with the provost at the beginning of the semester. Trying to set up a date with just his schedule is super busy to start the semester, so we might have to wait a little bit, but hopefully I'll be in there soon to go over a bunch of stuff. One of the things I will definitely be bringing up is this room situation. So I don't know how many seniors there are in the room that are engineers, but the first week, senior design was basically canceled for all engineers because they don't have the rooms for it. Not good. As a civil engineer, I found out today that I will not have a room for senior design until the new building opens. So I am very not happy about that, and it's going to be an issue I'm going to bring up. It's quite frankly ridiculous, and I'm going to leave it at that because if I say anything else, I'll probably get myself in trouble. But other things, smaller things that I'm going as I handle everything else that comes up. As some of you may remember from last semester, we talked about there's like a huge list of research that is sent to the pinnacles, and it's all the options. This was actually something I was working on with Christopher. and now he's gone, so I have to figure out where that was left off and go from there. And then, as you saw in the SFA slide, Student Faculty Alliance, Lena, you can confirm this, they don't have an email, right? No, okay, so if that wants to be continued, I have to figure out what we're gonna do about that. If the interest isn't there, we just won't have it. A lot of people push for it every year because it has been here for a while, and I think it's such a valuable tool, but I can't force students to do it. If there's no interest, we'll just get rid of it, but it's something that needs to be decided on this semester because it's been pushed off. Mariana faced this as well, and she tried her best to bring it back, and she did for a while, but now it's dead again. So something needs to be done about that. I'm gonna start meeting with people about it and seeing if I can't find people to take it over. We're gonna have to do something about it. So, happy first week, everybody.
Secretary.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Read my slide. I've been taking minutes. Okay. So I am Madison. I'm a junior Cal major. I am your secretary. So basically, I send out all the information for every meeting. So I make the docket. I include the minutes, anything that bill-wise that we're going to discuss or that we're going to vote on. I send out this drive that all the committees will update themselves. I make districts, those are coming soon. I have to make them for all the new ones. So just email your old districts until you get new ones. So that's kind of that end. And then I also run our duckling page. So I'll put our meetings up there, take attendance on it. Over the summer, I don't know if anyone's looked, but I sorted every single file on our duckling page. So if you go onto the documents, I swear everything will be there. You just have to look for it. If you need help, we can go through it together. So that's basically what I do in a nutshell with a few other things. So for the new nomination process, so we're gonna have to open up nominations for freshmen coming in and then for vacancies. So Julian and I work together to create an electronic way of doing nominations. So potentially we would get rid of writing anything. There would be no more getting signatures. It would be done through a Google form. I don't have it with me to pull up, but you would tell me that you're running, and then that form would then go to whoever you want to send it to. They would choose your name, and then the people running would get a slide that shows the count. And once they hit 50, they don't have to get any more signatures. And then I would have just myself as a secretary, the names, campus-wide IDs, emails, and I would send that to IT to verify. I think it's actually a better way because students can't see each other's campus-wide IDs, so it's actually safer because right now you can see each other's IDs. So all you would see is how many signatures you have and if you need to get to that specific number. And then IT would still verify if those people are actual students and how many times they went through it, because we sat and we looked at every single scenario. So we're thinking about doing that. So we'll discuss that more a little bit later, just to give you an idea. And then we can't use IT for actually making a voting system either. So we were thinking maybe doing in-person ballots, real old-fashioned-y. We could write it down and count them, or we could do a Google form. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but we're gonna have to make it work with this whole shutdown. And then freshman forum, we used to do a debate with the freshmen, but I think it's really not smart because they don't know anything. So what are you gonna debate about? So maybe just a forum and ask them questions and kind of make it more less scary and more impersonal. And then other stuff that I'm going to work on this semester is volunteering. I'm going to try to get us to do a couple of things as just a club around the community, green initiatives. I want to do grab and go walks where we could meet and just an hour and pick up trash or recycle around Hoboken. And then duckling as well. Keep updating that. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. All right, parliamentary.
Hello everyone, so my name is Kevin and I am a sophomore mechanical engineer. And you're probably saying, what the heck is a parliamentarian? Well, basically when we're talking funny language, that's all from something called Robert's Rules, which is a big book that guides the entire discussion and guides the entire meeting for how we conduct ourselves. So my job as parliamentarian is if anyone has any questions, you can either make something called a parliamentary inquiry, or you can just send me a message on Slack, whichever you'd like. And so for everyone new, you're going to be hearing people saying stuff like, I move the adoption of the following resolution. So like everything that you do in here has to be a motion. And that's, at least for senators, that's what they have to do. And then just say there's a motion currently going on. You can say like, I move to amend blank by striking out these words and putting these words. And then finally, when you want to like end discussion, you can say, I move the previous. Now there's a bunch of different, like other different motions, and I'm going to be going over them every week in my slides for something I do the motion of the week. But yeah, if you have any questions, just send me on Slack.
Thank you so much. It is, however, I moved the previous question. Just a second.
Wait a second.
We talked about that so much last semester. Okay. All right, our favorite time of the week, SGA shout-outs. All right, shout out to everyone who met this summer. Shout out to all freshmen that pulled up to this meeting. Love, you rock so much. Shout out to everyone who worked and had an internship. Shout out to those that helped with the SGA table. Shout out to those that went to the spaghetti dinner. Shout out to Maddie because she's Maddie. Shout out to Julian for helping me, Maddie. Shout out to Aparajita for making the poster with me, Maddie. Shout out to Elena for making cookies. Shout out to Whomstepper Pack Stevens. Shout out to former VPF Anthony for working with me this summer. Shout out to everyone that was a PL this summer, 57 on 3. Shout out to Rami and shout out to Dakota who joined us. Shout out to EJ for giving me a laptop and extension cable. Good deal. Alrighty, we are now in, can you raise your hand?
Yeah, I just want
What's up, Les?
I just want to ask you the non-senators and first.
Sure, okay, non-senators, I'm not sure. Let's just go through this. Okay, we're in new business, and we have a bunch of nominations that need to be confirmed. Mark.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to appoint Olivia Liu to the Budget Committee. Olivia Liu, are you here? Would you like to speak?
Sure. Okay.
Sure. Just raise your voice.
Hey guys, I'm Olivia Liu. I'm a PF engineer. I was on the budget committee last spring. It was a good time to do it again in the fall. Kind of conflict of interest, which won't be an issue. I'm the treasurer for ESC, the Student Council, as well as vice president for FAST.
Does anyone have any questions for Olivia? All right, if no one has any questions for Olivia, Olivia, can you step out of the room for a second? Thank you. All righty, we're in discussion on appointing Olivia Liu to the Budget Committee. Olivia.
She did a really good job on the budget committee last semester. I think we should appoint her to the budget committee again.
Also, just for any new people, if you want to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll call on you. Please wait until the last person has finished talking to raise your hand. And you can speak even if you're a non-senator, but I do have to prefer senators. All right. Does anyone else have something to say? Mark?
Second.
All right. Move the second to move the previous question. All in favor of moving the previous question, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right, the motion passes. The question is on appointing Olivia Liu to the Budget Committee. All in favor of appointing Olivia Liu to the Budget Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. All right, the ayes have it. The motion passes, and Olivia Liu is now on the Budget Committee. It is moved and seconded to appoint Joseph and Salaka to the Budget Committee. Joseph, would you like to speak a piece?
What's up, guys? I'm Joe. I'm a computer engineer. I joined last year with the budget committee as CCA treasurer, now CCA president. Like we budget committee,
Anyone have questions for Joseph? All right, if no one has any questions, Joseph, could you please step out for a second? All right, we were in discussion about appointing Joseph Insalate to the budget. Anyone got anything to say? Liam?
He also did a really good job. I think we should appoint him to the budget committee again.
No one has anything else? Stay with the previous.
Second.
All right. Cool. All in favor of moving the previous question, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes. All in favor of appointing Joseph Insulato to the budget committee, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. All right, you guys have it. The motion passes, and Joseph is now on the budget committee. All right. Bill. It is moved and seconded to appoint Mark Rapinski to the budget committee. Would you like to speak your piece, Mark?
Hi, Mark, senior computational science major, math, whatever. I've been a treasurer for the student for 3 years. I have a lot of experience working with it. I was on the budget committee and audit committee last semester. Enjoyed doing it, trying to help things in that way.
Any questions for Mark? If there are no questions, could you please step out for a second? All right, discussion on appointing Mark Krupinski to the budget committee. EJ?
He was also on budget committee last semester. He did a really good job. I like that one.
All right. If no one has anything else, anyone else have something pressing they want to say, good or bad? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna start closing discussion because there doesn't technically need to be that. So I'll entertain it this time. All in favor of moving previous questions, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right. All in favor of appointing Mark Rapinski to the budget committee, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Cool. The ayes have it. The motion passes, and Mark is now on the budget committee. Making our way through these. All right. Anyone else got a motion? Phil?
I move to appoint Victoria Aguilar to the budget committee.
Second. Moved and seconded to appoint Victoria Aguiliotis to the budget committee. Victoria?
Hello, I was on budget committee last semester. It was a really good time. I did a really good job. That's it.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Victoria? Joseph?
Victoria, do you do any clubs?
Do I what?
Do you do any other clubs?
Like casually, but not like really.
Well said. All right. Maddie?
Wait, who asked the question?
Joseph?
Oh, okay.
All right. Yes.
Why does everyone want to have a budget
We were just looking for last year, so we're just doing it again. But it's a really good time. If you want to do it, you should definitely look into it.
All right. If there are no questions for Victoria, please introduce yourself for a second. All right, discussion on Victoria being appointed to the budget committee. EJ? All in favor of moving the previous question, say aye. All opposed, please say no. All right, the ayes have it. All in favor of appointing Victoria Aguiliotis to the budget committee, please say aye. All opposed, please say no. All right, the ayes have it. The motion passes, and Victoria Aguiliotis is on the budget committee.
I was on budget committee last semester. I did a really good job. I really liked it. It was fun. I want to be on budget committee again this semester. Please appoint me.
Does anyone have any questions for Leo? All right, no one has any questions. Leo, please step out for a second and we'll discuss you. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Move the second, move the previous question. All in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. All in favor of appointing Liam McMurtry to the Budget Committee, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. All right, the ayes have it, the motion passes, and Liam is on the Budget Committee. All right. You guys thought we were done. All right.
Hashtag discussion.
Who's going to skip the first one?
I move to approve Parji Rana as public relations second.
All right, it's moved and seconded to approve Parjita to PR Chair. Parjita, speak your piece.
Alright, my name is Parjita Rana. I'm a sophomore senator. This is my second year doing SGA. I've been on PR committee throughout my SGA career so far. And I've already started taking over. So anyone questions?
Any questions? Any questions for Parjita?
What other commitments do you have outside of SITTV?
I'm treasurer of SWIX, and then I'm in this room. So I think PR works well on obviously trying to get more people. I think improving social media is a huge place where people get involved. Because the biggest thing with SGA is we want more people to be here. So just increasing involvement, and then from there on, making all of our events successful.
What do you see the perception of the SGA now, and how do you want to have it?
I think that kind of depends on what year you're in. So as a freshman, I think you can kind of be intimidated to start out, which is why it's important for PR to kind of give a better rundown of what SGA really means. And obviously through our senators, you can see that it kind of lacks interest from underclassmen. So trying to work to make people realize that SGA can better improve experiencing.
Any other questions for Parjita? DJ?
How many followers do you personally have?
I have approximately 1,500.
Oh, what's up? What's up, EJ? How many you got?
Anyone has any questions related to PR situation? No one has any other questions for Parjita? Please step out for a second. All right, we are now discussing the appointment of Parjita as the PR chair. Anybody got anything to say?
Hi, I was former PR chair for the past 1.5 years. It's really hard for me to give up the committee, but I think after Sheeta will do a really good job, and when I was thinking about stepping down, she was really the only person I had in mind who could take over. As she said, she's been on PR, so she kind of knows how things work. I shared transitioning documents with her. I think she'll do a really good job, and she's already been doing stuff on the Instagram the past couple weeks, so I think it'll be good. Yeah.
I recall last semester there was some issues with her maintaining the level of work that she had to do as her for her part in the committee. Do you foresee that being an issue going forward?
No, I don't think so at all. I think she's been making posts on Instagram and stuff, and I think she has good ideas for the future. I think once you are appointed to chair, your perspective on the priority your committee has really changes, and it becomes a much larger part of your life than you anticipate. So I think transitioning into that would be no problem for her, and I'll still stay on the committee to help her and stuff. So yeah.
Good, Maddie?
And then just to kind of go off what Alina has been saying, I've been working with her over the summer on the newsletter that should be coming out for last semester. So she's been helping me with that already. And we made the posting together for block parties, so she did a little bit of PR there. So everything she's worked on so far has been really good, and the semester hasn't even started. So I'm confident I think she'll do a good job.
Any further discussion on authority disciplines? There is none. Are we ready to vote? All right. The motion is on the approval of Parji Durana as Public Relations Committee Chair. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. All right, the ayes have it, the motion passes, and Parji is PR Chair. Any other motions? On the docket, there is a motion from Julia Main. Should I do that? She's not here. You can, in theory, still do it. Okay, cool. So, I just need to put that on the docket for next week. Yeah, just no one move it, and it will go on the docket. All right, we are now in. Well, unless anyone has any further motions.
I just want to say, as like a courtesy to all the people in the SGA who didn't get to like introduce themselves, and because we have so many potential new people here, can we like go around the room and like for the SGA people who didn't get to speak, kind of introduce themselves?
Sure, let's do that. And okay, so first we'll do like a brief introduction round. Try to keep it quick, and then we'll go into discussion. We have discussion points here. All right, I'd like to start.
Yes. All right. Hi y'all, my name is Julian Hernandez. I am a 5 out of 5 music and technology major. I was in the SGA about 2 years ago. Last year I took a year off, and I'm back here for my second year. I've been part of the Academic Curriculum and Advancement Committee since before I was a senator. I was a re-founder of Resident Creative Magazine, and I'm currently involved in my fraternity, the Cultural Group Council, and this. So if you have any questions, I was also peer leader over the last year, and I'm really interested in helping out with kind of like the structure of the SGA, and kind of getting our image a little bit higher. As you know, I was working with Maddie with the election stuff, and I'm really excited for what the SGA can be with all the changes that we're doing.
Next up, anyone else that has not adopted to introduce themselves, please make through. Is everyone else? Sam?
I'm Sam. I'm a sophomore senator. Last semester I worked on the Government and Community Relations Committee and on Campus Life Committee.
Anyone else want to introduce themselves? Akash?
Hello guys, my name is Akash Rana. I'm a 2 out of 5, maybe, well, 2 out of 4, maybe 2 out of 5 computer engineering major. I was on the Campus Life Committee first semester and then Rules Committee second semester, so, yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else? I know you're hiding.
Hi, I'm Adrian. I'm a
Yes,
2 out of 5 civil engineer. This is my second semester doing SGA. I came in the spring semester, and I'm on D&I and Health and Wellness. D&I is diversity and inclusion.
If you're a senator and you haven't said your name before everybody, please raise your hand.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a sophomore senator, and I'm new.
Woo! That's a fun fact.
No.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a creative forum music tech major here. Over the summer, I was a pre-college counselor and peer leader, and this was also my first semester as well.
Woo! Anybody else? Is that everybody? All right, everybody knows all of their names now. And their majors. Perfect. We are in discussion. So we got a few topics here. Feel free to say anything else you want to as well. They should give it a good structure. I'm actually going to do something I did last year, which is copy the discussion points into here, and then I'll take little notes on each of these, and then if you're wondering what to do for your Senator Initiative, I post these on the Slack after the meetings, and you can run through and like see what people were talking about, to see like what you can jump on and do for that week. All right. Any discussion on restructuring of reporting drive? Anyone have anything to say about that? Jason?
So for the reporting drive, we've had lots of talks with Leo and Danielle about this, and we've looked at lots of other SGA structures, and we believe the best move to cut the time down like dramatically would to have the cabinet report and then to have 1 to 2 slides of updates from all the committees and subcommittees. And we would think it's just a much cleaner way to present information. We would rather have people submit things to us for us to put on our slides. We know most of the information that people are working on, and we can just present them quickly, more efficiently, and just talk about them briefly. And then if more information is required, we can take that offline. But we really believe that cabinet should just present everything, and then 1 slide for maybe all the committees, another slide for all the other little nooks and crannies that we don't cover with just the committees. But cutting down from, I don't know how many slides we have, but it's like 30 to 40, and 34 slides to like 8 would be way better, in my opinion. And just getting rid of all those no update, nothing to say slides, just get them out of the way. I would love to hear some ideas about that and what you guys think.
EJ?
This may be unrelated, but what is Trello?
Oh, so that's completely unrelated. But
I wasn't sure.
this is going to be for reports. Trello is an organizational tool that will pretty much serve as a better communication for everyone to see how and what people are working on. So it's pretty much you make cards for every single senator, and then you can just directly put in what you're working on, what you plan on working on. You can make labels. It's really good organization.
Could we also use that for like a replacement for committees too? We have committees make pages on Trello instead of slides. Or could we do that instead?
Pretty much all of the information you can tell in Trello, yes. But yeah, basically for the reporting drive, just converting all those into like 2 or 3 slides would be a big shift.
I would be concerned about CSI reporting slides, just because like they can't vote, so really like they can participate in discussion and then they can give updates. So if we like took away their slides, it would kind of take away the purpose of CSI members from coming, I feel.
Well, if they have something to report, they'll let us know, and then we'll add like a slide or something. But like most weeks, a lot of them just have no update, no update, no update.
A lot of times CSI members will be at the meetings that are relevant to their organizations. So they're really good on being on top of what's happening, despite not, like, I don't know if the question was, would not having a slide discourage them from coming to the SGA?
No, I was just trying to make the point of we don't want to take away like their platform of sharing information with us.
Any other discussion on this topic?
And I was actually about to raise a counterpoint, which is that, as exactly as Elena just said, a lot of the time CSI members don't have anything to report, and their slides kind of just get pulled through without anyone paying attention. Whereas the committee slides feel more impactful because the committee heads get to report on what they're doing and inform senators of initiatives that they can actually become part of and inform people of why the committees matter. So I feel like getting rid of committee slides altogether would be pretty detrimental, especially because we're already having a pretty significant committee participation problem.
So, for anybody on the cabinet, can correct me if I'm wrong, but I recall, I feel like the point would be not to get rid of committees being able to add updates, it's just that the majority of committees, for example, like ASA and CAR, Paul and Alex, they would kind of, you would be able to give their updates on like one concise slide without having to do all the, so it wouldn't have to go, hi, this is ACA, And this is ACA's updates. Hi, this is Car. This is Car's updates. Hi, this is VPA. This is VPA updates. So instead of doing 3 different slides, just one slide, I take a third of the time. Because right now, the beginning, I timed it like at the end of last semester, we spend about 45 to 50 minutes just going over the slide. And only about 20 minutes of those 50 minutes are actually impactful. A lot of it is just saying things that just repeat it for repeat's sake. So it's kind of like, those kind of updates that you're saying are impactful. It's like making sure we're focusing on those and not just on the repeating of information that we just have to repeat here today.
The objective would be not to get rid of any of the information on the slides. It would just be to
Take that.
The other point I wanted to make is that like the big one would be CSI. So currently there's 11 CSI slides, and Nina also gives an update. If any of this like CSI committee heads have anything important to say, they're more than welcome to say that or ask Nina to present it for them. But the amount of times, like as you can see tonight, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 heads that are not here. And obviously Nina was doing introductions, but a lot of times we never know if the slide just hasn't been updated or what's going on, and we waste a lot of time on that. So I think we want to just keep all the same information, just condense everything down so it's less of a time waste.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else have something really, really important to say about this? I'd like to close discussion. All right, cool. We're going to move on to meeting time discussions. Anyone have anything to say about that? Jason?
So this was something that we talked about at the end of last semester, which I'm pretty passionate about because I don't know about you guys, but I don't think Sunday at 7 o'clock is the best time to have meeting times to get people excited and want to be here. But pretty much I would like to use this time now to talk about potential new meeting times and knowing why we're hosting these meetings and to make sure that we're doing them for the right reason. Maybe that does come at sacrifice with a couple senators not being able to make it, but if we can make it so, 15 other students can and are very willing to be here and to participate in discussion, that's way more valuable to me personally. I have talked to the registrar. They said Friday 2 to 4 was a very low class time. Wednesday academic break is obviously always a potential time, maybe not the same time anymore. And then Thursday from 5 to 7 was another time that was very low. So if we can talk about, what could potentially work for new times, but hopefully we can get it in the Tuesday to Thursday gap and not do it on a Monday or Friday, because that's usually weird times or holidays or stuff like that, long weekends. But just keep in mind that we're here to be there for the students more, and we're making it easier for students to come, be present, not go very much out of their way as coming to campus on a Sunday night to express their, new club ideas or their presentation or to have a general update. Just make it easier for them to have it in the work week instead of on the weekend.
I think maybe Friday later in the afternoon, like maybe Friday at 6, or possibly even like Friday at 7. I know that's kind of late, but still, like pushing it all to that time would be better because while Friday 2 to 4, there's not a lot of academic stuff going on. There are a lot of students on co-op who would not be able to come to the meetings, so pushing off a little bit later would be better for them to come.
The only thing that's I'm very hesitant with Friday is a lot of people try to schedule their classes specifically not for Friday, and that's when they either work, long weekends come in again, like people go home. So really, try to keep it in the Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. If you could try to find a time, it would be ideal.
Right.
Okay. So one of the two main arguments that we usually have about changing the time is revolving around students on co-op and commuters. So one of the reasons that we we've had a hard time with Sundays. The students that are commuters aren't necessarily on campus, especially if they're commuting farther. So by moving it during the week, we can get more commuters involved. The other big advantage to moving it during the week is we can have administrators at the meeting so they know exactly what we're talking about. We can have discussions with them. They can provide context, input, everything else. At the end of the day, we can sit here and talk about whatever we want to, propose everything we want to, do as much as we want, but if we don't work with the administration on anything, nothing's actually going to happen or have a lasting impact. So I would like to at least be able to have them to come to some of the meetings. So personally, I'm going to say I think Thursdays at 5 is a good solution. In the past, we've had pushback about Fridays for students that intentionally don't schedule classes then so that they can go to work. And by doing it at 5 o'clock on a Thursday, it's easy enough for the administrators to just stay an hour late after work if they want to come to the meeting. They're all here until 5 anyway, but it's also more accommodating to co-op students so they can either go in early to work that day or maybe work a couple hours extra if they have a flexible schedule. I think it allows the most people to make it to the meetings and it doesn't conflict with as many classes. If for some reason there's like 6 senators that all have class on Thursday, that's something we can address, and we could always discuss potential amendments for absences for students who have classes but want to be a senator and are unable to move the courses or whatever it may be. We can work with the registrar's office. There's options there, but not only is it inconvenient for people to be here at 7, and a lot of people don't want to be here, but I think this allows us to get more done.
So the big thing with Sundays at 7 is you're guaranteeing that nobody has class. Tuesdays are in the middle of the week, people have class, whether it's night class or classes that start at 5, which just automatically locks people out. People still have the potential to come here if they are commuter on Sunday. You're guaranteeing that they aren't free and academics are not interfering with them. I think that having it still Sunday at 7 is a safe time for everyone. Still people are free. And additionally, I am really skeptical about administration coming to the meetings just because it's Sundays at 5. I'm from my perspective, I feel like a lot of them would still just leave and go. And again, we're catering to students, not to administration. We can still go meet to administration during the business hours, and we actually need to go talk to them.
So one, on the student portion, there's an opportunity cost no matter which time we do that, one. And the opportunity cost for having it during the week, A, you keep the mindset of like we're doing work. You're not dragging people out of their weekends, which a lot of times is detriment. Like I've tried to get people to be centers to come to meetings, even just for like a couple meetings for a topic that they would talk to me about, and then they'd be like, well, it's on a Sunday, like I'm home with my family, I'm not trying to come home early, just go to next week. As well as the fact that, as Ryan stated, there are options to address those situations where people want to be senators, be involved, but they just happen to have class. That's not a restriction, that's something we can work with. 2, on the staff portion, I've had multiple staff, like personal conversations with staff members that said they would come to meetings if it was on a weekday within an hour or 2 of them.
So the first thing is that there's a freshman quiz from every day at 5 o'clock. So you're knocking out a bunch of people who have exams. And as much as I agree that we should have it during the week, I think that an alternative to this could be say like the 3rd Thursday of every month, we could meet so that we know that there will be people on campus. We can schedule with the administration we need to meet to that 3rd Thursday of the week, but just still keep the Sunday meetings at 7. Keep them every Sunday of the month, and then also just have that 3rd Thursday or that 3rd whatever day of the week.
Well, I have to say that if you like move it to during like the weekdays, Monday to Friday, on a day that's like not Friday, like Thursdays, like in the evening, like from 5 to 7 or whatever, I think that is definitely going to exclude a lot of students who take evening classes. Because even though pretty much all the evening classes are grad classes, a ton of students do take grad classes. I'm taking grad classes. If it was on Thursdays from 5 to 7, I personally would not be able to make it because I live in class during that time. So, and the same thing goes for like Tuesdays or Wednesdays as well.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that point, if the argument is that moving it from the weekend would somehow lets you get more attendance because you're now including commuters, I just don't think it's a positive exchange. I think the amount of people that are going to be excluded, regardless of what time you pick, if it's during the week, is going to be much, much higher than the amount that are currently able to come on the Sunday time. I mean, for example, the time that you pick, Thursdays 5 to 7, is when the student is in the heated layout. We have, what, four or five student senators, so a lot of them won't be able to come, and that would be pretty bad for the dissipation of knowledge through the campus, because a lot of what the SGA does gets told to the students through the student. So if it was happening the day that the suit gets published, most of it would be delayed by a week or two.
Mr.
Why can't we do academic work on Wednesday unless is there a reason? Is there a reason? No. So, like, I feel like academic break is like a good time to have it. And even though like a lot of clubs like super micro events or even like super events like super events in that time. We are the Student Government Association, so we assert ourselves that we are like this powerful organization on campus. Have it during that time. I think that's good. Because right now looking at those times, like I can't do anything because I work and I have class. So that's another thing too. Like if we're going to change the time that excludes people, as long as there's like something in place where like if I can't come anymore, I can still be part of the SGA and do my job. Then it doesn't really matter to me.
So that's another discussion we can have, whether or not you guys like the idea of academic break as a potential time. The other point we can make is that senators all have 4 excused absences. So if you're heavily involved with a club, whatever it may be, and you have some event going on at that time, I mean, the semester, you can miss basically a quarter of the meetings for a semester for other events during that time slot and still be fine with your attendance. So I think it's completely reasonable to hold meetings at a time that we know the student body is also free and can come make the meetings, because a lot of them don't want to come on Sunday nights at 7 either, so we can't get their input. So regardless of whether or not the senators can make it, we do need student input as well.
Jason will have the last comment.
So let's actually talk about academic break then. Right now, academic break is 3 to 5, correct? We can either do an hour before academic break, we can do entirely in academic break, or we can do, 4 to 6 or something like that. I would prefer to have at least a 2-hour gap for Senate meetings. This one's going to be a little bit long just because it's introductions, but usually they're like maximum 2 hours, especially if you cut down reports, it'll be way quicker. But what are the biggest problems with academic break? I mean, obviously, major events are held during then, but if we had it, maybe 4 to 6, you get the tail end of the event, would that be a problem?
Alright, so it seems like a lot of people want to talk screens. Everyone, okay, when you raise your hands before people are done talking, I don't know who raised their hand first. Please just wait until people are done talking, and I'll look up and people raise their hands. And I'll also prefer Maddie.
So one thing, Ryan's right that it's only 2 excused absences, but like an excused one is counted as a half. So you get 4 half absences if you were to do it like that. Also, just really wanted to point out, right now we really don't have a lot of attendance, and we keep talking about all these people getting excluded during the work week. No one's here anyway. Nobody's here, and they definitely can make it. It's 7. It's Sunday night at 7. So I think trying it during academic break will be a lot better for students just passing through class. I don't really see how we could say that it excludes co-op students when I don't think we had a senator that was a co-op. A lot of them don't want to do it while they're on SGA because it's too big of a commitment to have a job and do SGA. So I just think that during the week would be.
I just personally and also like other people who are friends and English usually like kind of have conflicts with academic break. Like I know a lot of varsity sports, like the coaches purposely plan practices during that time because they know they're not in class. So we would, and that's not fun.
Are you in sport?
Yeah, travel.
When do you guys look
3 to 5.
Okay, is this a discussion we can continue in Slack?
Yes.
Right. Is it really moving forward? Okay.
I would just suggest making like, I don't know, either a Google form or something with people saying their suggested times, and then like having that as like a voting option just to see where generally interest lies with like different times that people like and don't like.
I don't know. I think we should just keep it like either academic break. I think that if we do the like whole Google form thing, like we're just one part of the population on campus, and if we're trying to carry the whole thing, like we'll never be representative of like everybody at Stevens. So I think we should just do like either like one of those established time frames when the registrar established, and of course if we do it during the week, like there will always be conflicts.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest thing isn't the meeting time. I think it's the meeting itself. Like, I hate the verbiage of people like, oh, I gotta drag myself to the SGA, or like when they use a negative connotation like that. Like, you shouldn't view this as like dragging yourself, like, to come to the SGA. Like, you should be like pumped, or like, I don't know. Like, you should just be excited to want to be good. And like, I think it isn't all about the meeting times. I think it's about the meetings. I think we have to change most of the structure of the meetings because, you know, people know it's like an established fact. The SGA meetings are on Sundays at 7, like, that's kind of an established fact, and I think we need to change the structure of the meeting rather than the meeting time. I think people are using meeting times to cop out, to be honest, because they just didn't want to do SGA anymore, you know, meeting excuse. So I think we have to focus on that. And the other thing is, like, people who are commuter students, co-op students, or who just can't get to campus here, I think if they are so inclined, like, if they have, like, an issue that they want to bring up, they should definitely like reach out to the senator or reach out to the cabinet member. Like they should like empower themselves, like, you know, talk to someone, like, you know, and like if they really have like an issue. So I don't know.
Sorry guys, but I'm gonna cut the discussion on the meeting times there. We can continue the discussion in Slack, but we should really just. All right. Does anyone have anything to say about the new nomination and voting procedure? Julie. Should I send it to you? Yeah.
Sure. Form that we were on the slides.
Should we hold off on that and just do classes to the person? Will you do that?
Yeah, so I can talk about it.
About which thing?
Nominations. So the nominations, right? Or did you want me to go to the big?
Well, I was just considering delaying this while I can pull it.
Alright, so then we'll go down.
What's up?
Okay, so we don't do any type of debate besides the freshman one, so that's something that we could look into. If you guys think that's a good idea, we could start implementing that for the future, adding something for every time you run, like a debate of some sort, because once you pass freshman year, like you kind of know more about stuff. It might be a good like PR way to get people interested in becoming a senator, that you can come and actually see the debates. So I want to get some thoughts on that. And then the forum for the freshmen, like I said, it'd be really laid back, and it could be kind of a way where they just come, we get to talk about them, learn about them, see why they're interested in being a senator, rather than asking them what they would do. Because I know when I was a freshman, they were asking about, I think, freshman quiz or whatever. I didn't know what that was at the time. So instead of asking questions like that, we could have it, they meet the Senate, they meet all of you, they introduce themselves. So I want to get some just thoughts on what people think about that.
EJ.
I really like that. I know even though the forum last year was fairly on topic, like most people, the initiatives they talked about weren't feasible and they didn't end up following through with them, so it makes more sense.
Sam?
Also what EJ said, like I feel like last year, or just in general, it seems very intimidating kind of just bringing up initiatives when like you haven't been exposed to the SGA for that long to like know what like each committee does, but like getting to know everyone and like kind of expressing what you want to do regardless would be better because more casual and not like serious, I guess. Or, like someone who's like brand new.
I think the forum would also be a good opportunity for like current officials to talk about what they're working on, since we will have like an attendance there of like people who don't probably know as much about the SGA, so it's a good chance to share what we're already doing.
Yeah, I think if we
definitely maybe just like kind of like a general forum like we did last year. Like that.
I was also gonna say, in terms of like debate versus forum, I feel like in terms of debate, like gives the SGA, kind of like you view it in a different light. I feel like it seems more so like you won't value like certain perspectives necessarily because like it may be conflicting with somebody else's, but with the forum, it's like anyone's welcome to see whatever they do.
Any other discussion on classifieds? Alina?
I think the freshman forum is definitely great for freshman elections, and as Phil said, for upperclassmen, probably not as much interest into it. Also, with the time period that we do upperclassmen elections, it's towards finals. So I don't know about other people, but during finals, I don't want to do anything else.
I think in terms of when we do upperclassmen elections, this is not necessarily something that for people to do perfectly hard. It's kind of just get us talking about things outside of this group on whenever we have a meeting, right? Because, for example, one of the only other times we ever talked about SGA initiatives outside of this room, well, not even outside of just our meetings, is when we do presidential debates in the fall, which is around the same time, but just in the fall. And that's really the only time where you have actual people coming out, sitting here, asking questions that aren't senators, that aren't just the hot topic at the moment.
I mean, that's the purpose of PR events. We have people come out and you talk to them about our initiatives, have them ask questions and stuff in a more relaxed setting. So, we do this, in the spring, we had Spill and Tea Fall, we had SGA meetings, so we do still have that interaction. I don't think we need to create more barriers for upperclassmen interested in running for Senate.
Do you think instead we could twist this into a PR event?
Yeah. I mean, we did last year. We had flyers and
So that's what I'm saying. We could do more of a debate. No, I think it should be more of a forum. Just it can be a fun thing. It doesn't need to be as strict as the presidential one, but it can just be a natural, fun event that is just PR and ask questions and get the conversation started.
All right, Brian, and then I think that'll be the last thing for this topic.
Yeah, just the big issue we had back when we used to do freshman debates was that we were a lot of times asking freshmen for their opinions on topics that they had no knowledge of since they had just gotten to Stevens and hadn't been involved enough. And I think even people that are upperclassmen that are looking to become a senator may not have knowledge of these topics that are going on because they haven't been around the SGA to have these discussions yet. So I think more of just a forum where people can present their ideas and what they're going to bring to the table is good. But then again, we're still looking to get senators at this point, so more barriers to entry I don't think is something we need right now.
Thank you very much. All right. About the new nomination and voting procedure, I got sent the whole thing. So I also want to close the meeting in 10 minutes. So we're going to keep this moving. All right. So what are we looking at here?
So there's three items. One is the form, which is the thing that people can do, is the thing that people actually fill out. Second is that sheet, which is all of the answers to the form put in an Excel sheet. The third one, which is the one that he was just on, well, that's the actual form. Right, so that's the form. The one he was just on was the submissions to this form, and the other one that literally just said the name to the number is just the count. So this is the thing that gets sent to the student body, right? This is the thing I say I want to run for senator. I contact Maddie about, hey, I want to start getting signatures from the senator. She puts my name on this form. She gives me a link that I send to other people to fill this form out, right? It's limited to one response. So you, as a singular person, can only have one response. You have to have received an email, right? Fill this out, fill it out, pick the senator that you want to nominate, and then you just click, I have read this, and then hit submit, right? It asks for your name, capital ID, all the information that we can verify the actual person that it is when we send that. After that, it gets sent to the form.
Submit, so we can.
thought this was like weirdly behind the scenes.
Yeah. So then this one is all the submissions that come straight from the form. So you can see like you just put that there and it has the names, right? But then it also lists all of the names in there. Then it goes to this form. So this just has the names of the people and the counter. This is the form that we send to the people that are actually running. So if I was running for senator, Dylan and Maddie would send me this link so I can see how many nominations I have. Normally you have a piece of paper, right? And you're listing all the signatures on the sheet and you get to see how close you are to filling up the sheet. Now you get this number. It's really, really simple.
We get Command Plus.
Yeah, so basically, just to kind of explain that, like, if you're running as a senator, you'd say, Maddie, I'll say, okay, I add your name to the Google form, and then send you that link. You can send that to whoever you want to get to vote for you. It automatically updates that link there, and then you can have it yourself to track it, and once you get to 50, you're done. And then I get that other piece of, like that other sheet with all that info, and I send that to IT to verify that you're a real student, and that's it.
One thing, are we only going to use it, first off, it's great, I love it, it's beautiful. Are we only going to use it for nominations, or are we then going to use it for voting as well?
Yeah, so my thought process was to kind of do the same thing for voting. It just doesn't have to be public, like, because when we vote now, like, you guys don't see anything. It's literally just put in, and that's it. So, and we don't have to verify anything with IT because IT does the voting portal for us. So we would have to sit and kind of talk with them and how they want to do that, because you use your My Stevens to get in, so they know you're a Stevens student, you know? So that's the only thing where it's a little tricky on how we're going to do that.
So the only question I have with this, right, I like the idea that it's all electronic, it's easier to use, there's no paper. The only concern I have is that having a checklist there of everyone running, in the case that somebody sends in their nomination form or like tells Maddie they're running later in the nomination period and then has to get added and somebody has already submitted, what do you do then? And then also the issue of, so there's this whole list here and I can just go and check the box of everybody, but I don't know necessarily these people. I know it would be a little more tedious to have an individual form for each person, but if I, specifically had to send out this form to friends or like give it to people and say, hey, can you, nominate me specifically, I feel like a lot of people are just going to be getting a massive amount of nominations from random people that are just going into the form. Oh yeah, let me just check off everybody's box at the same time.
So on the first one, actually the first one.
He said that everyone should get their own link, but we talked about that.
So the part with everybody getting their own link, we actually thought about that. The big decision was whether we wanted to have one form with everybody on there or like make separate lists for each one. One of the benefits that we saw with this was that, so Maddie should be doing a sit down with each person when they go to run for nominations and run for the election. And this way they have to contact her in order to get on board. And the other one, which I actually just remembered, when somebody gets on there later, so anytime that you submit this form, you can go back and edit your response. So if there's an option that's added later, and then your friend comes to you like, hi, I was just added to the form, can you go vote for me? You just have to go back to the form. It'll say like, you submitted this, do you want to edit your response? Click that and just check the response.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of that, you have the option to edit, but I was thinking that we do a PR blast of these are the days you contact the secretary that you're running. And then if you're not in it, like, you're just not on the form for that round because you're going to be at a disadvantage. So I don't know if anyone thinks that might be too harsh, but I think it makes sense. All they have to do is tell me their name and I'll put them on the form, and that's the start to get nominated. So.
Good deal. Alrighty. Anyone else have something really, really important to say about this?
Could we send like the link with the Google form after like student like or documents relay or something to ensure that everyone gets it, and then that's how people can access it?
Yeah, I mean, so to be honest, we didn't think about it that far because we wanted to see what you guys thought about it first, because if you didn't like it, I don't know how we could do that. We could ask Danielle to do it through Student Life, or maybe like Chris Szymanski. So that could be something, or a duckling class if that ever comes up. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to see what you thought about it, because we're also gonna have to update our bylaws to include it, so we have to do that first before we even start this.
Adrian?
Just to reply to what Ryan said, you already, when you get the form, click in, like, say you're voting for just me, or you want to nominate just me, you still see the other 12 people, so there's still like a mishmash of people getting random nominations. And are we going to do this by class?
So,
It will have to be broken up by class, right?
so the way that we set the form up now, it was just like putting names, and if you were interested in being nominated. So we could make a different form for each class, maybe, if that's possible.
Like Luca said, this is just a draft, so there is a lot of development to be done. Of course, like, for example, that's something like we need to hash out. Yeah, so that's great. Another one was, I want to talk about the actual voting procedure that Maddie mentioned real quick. When we go to do the actual voting, setting up something like this, yes, and sending it out to everybody. One of the things that we thought was going to be super necessary this year since we don't have a portal, and actually possible now that we have a centralized like place where everybody can go vote, is us like sitting at locations on campus, physically with iPads, being like, "Hi, did you vote yet for the senator elections? And would you mind filling this out real quick just to vote for the senators for your class?" And doing it, things like that, which actually just gets more people being active and seeing that other people are being active, pushes more people to be active. That was possible.
All right, we good on that topic? Does anyone else have any pressing new discussion items that we can finish in 3 minutes? Or maybe a little bit more. Vic?
I just like really quick for the last thing, so like maybe a solution to so someone can check off all the things, like maybe have each person have like a code where you have to like add that in. So like if you didn't talk to that person who wouldn't have their codes, you can't just click off random names.
Andrew?
My only issue with this entire idea is it kind of defeats the purpose of the signatures in the first place, because we had a very long discussion about this back in the spring, but the entire idea was to get senators to actually go out, like, or prospective senators to actually go out and talk to the people they would be representing. And there were a lot of arguments that, oh, that's too difficult for upperclassmen, or, well, that was pretty much the main argument. And this would just lead to a lot of impersonal nominations, which was the entire thing that we're trying to avoid. As Ryan said, they just check off a bunch of boxes of people you can talk to, never met. You can, the prospective senators can go in group chats and drop this form and just be like, "Hi, I want to be a senator, please nominate me," and without ever actually having a conversation with the people nominating them. So I think a simpler solution would just be to increase the amount of signatures required by 10 for each class year. So it would be like 50 for freshmen, 40 for senators, for sophomores, 30 for juniors, etc. That way they can still do the exact same thing, but just make it more proportional to the amount of people they can actually go find on campus.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm going to say further discussion on this and move to Slack in the interest of time. Anybody else have new discussion topics that can't wait until next week? Because I'd really like to close this meeting very, very quickly.
One more thing was just the mentor-mentee Google form. I sent it on the docket. Don't think I put it in my slide, but fill it out because I'm going to start assigning them to people that are new now, and then the freshmen coming in. That's it.
Oh. Okay, so Slack is how we communicate. Okay, so this is Slack. An organization will make their own personal link, and then you can like create different channels, and this is how the SGA communicates. It's open to the public. I don't know how to join.
Click on the ensemble SGA Stevens.
Yeah, it is.
You see the link underneath where it says SGA-Stevens? It says sgastevens.slack.com. You could join there. That's our Slack channel.
Make sure you sign in with your student email.
So yeah, SGA Stevens.
Yeah. I'll ask you to sign in. You gotta scroll down a little bit.
More professional.
All right, that's how you join Slack.
There's a lot lot of cool discussion.
All right, Liam?
Well, let's take a minute, but Matt wasn't here to talk about the Government and Community Relations Committee, so I'd like to talk about it in his place to all the new people. So the Government and Community Relations Committee was established, I think, last semester, maybe the one before that, to kind of facilitate discussions and communication between the SGA and both the Hoboken City Council and the state and federal government on issues that relate to the student body. It is a strictly apolitical organization. We only represent issues and talk about issues that relate to the students specifically, their needs, and things related to them. We don't like do anything political for that. But yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Great. Anyone else? Sam? All right. It has been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor of closing the meeting, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say no. Right, the ayes have it, and the meeting is closed.